So this is basically my side gig. So this is it though. I'm gonna walk the fence. We're gonna call it a day, and we're gonna go do that full-time thing. So let's see what today has in store. So what we are doing here is Stalk Stompers. So this is gonna go on the front of the tractor. Bruce is grabbing the tractor right now and is going to nose in, and we're going to put this on. So there's going to be 3 Stalk Stompers on each. So what is a Stalk Stomper? It pushes the previous year's stalks over. So if you look out at any of the fields, maybe I can get you through the window here. Stalks are standing. So what those do is those eat up the tires, and tires are very expensive. I think like $4,000 a piece. So with that being the case, you want to do everything you can to salvage and take care of those tires as long as possible. And so that's where Stalk Stompers come into place. So they are designed to ride just above the ground, push the stalk over, allowing the tractor to run it over and tractor tire to run it over, which in turn saves them from eating up the tires. So that's what we're working on. Figuring things out. We were not sent any instructions. It's just a matter of seeing if we can find some instructions online. So, breaking for lunch. We'll be back. We have a change of plans. The Stalk Stompers, there was a wrong bolt kit sent with them. And so we are kind of at a standstill. Could make some things work, but we also need to reinforce some of the different areas. So Bruce is on his way to go get some additional parts and run some other errands. And this is no rush, especially with the rain we're getting. We're not getting a ton, but there's definitely enough forecasted to where we're not getting in the field tomorrow, most likely not even Thursday. So with that being said, we have a little bit of time, and then also with him not getting into any dryland fields that he's going to need the Stalk Stompers, we have a little bit of time there too. So with all that said, cutting out early from farming, and going to continue working on a project that I've been working on, which is transplanting trees. So I've been transplanting eastern red cedar trees for our windbreak for some land we're in the process of buying, and getting those planted. So eastern red cedars are a very popular tree that handles all the conditions out here in southwest Nebraska. So basically I'm just plucking them from areas that we don't want them growing, and I'm going to put them in as a windbreak. And then we also got, I think, 130 trees from the NRD that I'm planting as well. And this is how, oh, there goes a bunny. And this is how some of these trees end up creeping in. So we're going to dig these out. It looks like there's 3 of them there. Definitely not digging that one out. The root system for that is probably insane. We'll grab that little one, that little one. I just need to make sure I'm looking around. They're popping up everywhere here. Let's see if there's any more. Doesn't look to be any more around the corner here. 5 is definitely a good amount, but fully grown, this is what they look like. So great for windbreak. Goats also love to eat them, so anything that the goats can reach, they will eat. But of course, for a windbreak, you don't want goats eating up everything, because then otherwise, what's the purpose of the tree for the windbreak? Okay, let's get some of these dug up. Beautiful. See, this is why cover is important. Ground is soft because of cover, which also, it will trap moisture. So all this moisture, even though it's not a ton, it's only been maybe 5/100ths at this point, all of this ground cover will trap it. And that's why I strongly believe in the regenerative ways, because when you watch nature's automatic response to healing and to helping itself is all about ground cover, living roots, etc., etc., etc. So here's a challenge of mine. So I got all 5 of them. Pulling up some of these, they just grow under machines, under cement, under, in this case, a bunch of old pivot pipe, and it just makes it challenging to pull them up. So you try to leverage and pull the root system up, but then it just wants to snap. And so, being that it snapped, I could either just leave it there and say, all right, well, we lost on that one. Or, since these are literally drought-like, arid, conditioned trees and everything, what goes through my mind is, well, I'll give you a shot at life. And it's up to you and God to determine whether you're going to survive or not. So that's my thought process. I'm not saying it's right. Why not give it a shot? And worst case scenario, it dies and I got to put a different one in its spot. So that is my thought process there. So another thing I had thought of when I was pulling these up here, all the trees that I'm planting and choosing to plant are designed to withstand our climate. No offense to anybody that is into horticulture or anything like that, but I have zero interest in running pipe or water line or drip line to my trees and watering them. I don't want to do that work. I don't want to baby the trees or anything. And this goes for really just the animals, the trees, you name it. Because if you can't survive out here without me, I just don't want you here with me. Because in order to build what Kate and I are wanting to build, you need to be able to handle this climate, this region. So that's my thought process. I know it's very hardcore. I know it can be sometimes black and white, but it's like with these trees, they are built for it out here. They are built for the dry conditions, the hot conditions, the really cold conditions. We have the windy conditions. We have the eastern red cedars are built for that. We're also planting ponderosas right behind it, and that's the same deal. Ponderosas are built for this climate. They're fast growing. They can handle drought. They can also be fire resistant. And so that's why we chose ponderosas, but we chose the ponderosas as well because of the look. With this 10 acres we're buying, we want it to look magical. We want it to look beautiful. And so with that being said, that's why the ponderosas are there. And then we're going to sprinkle in some bur oaks, which are very hardy. I did choose to do red oaks, but red oaks need to be planted near more wet, like drainage areas. I chose red oaks because of what they look like in the fall. And I said, well, it's an oak. I'm already doing bur oaks, so I went with that. Hackberries grow out here just like eastern red cedars. So that was another one we went with. And then my father-in-law, it's not that he didn't want these Austrian pines. He just got too much. And so with the Austrian pines, I decided to get 15 of them. Don't know where I'm going to plant them yet, but we got some Austrian pines too. So we'll see how those ones go. But really the ones that I'm referring to are the eastern red cedars, the ponderosa pines, and the bur oaks, and the hackberries are the ones that they are perfect for this climate. So, okay, so we got 5 of them here. I got a few other spots I've been eyeing up over the last several weeks that we're going to go pick a few up. So we'll swing by there on the way and see how many more we can get. Here are 2 small ones that I forgot to pick up here last. The challenge is going to be this asphalt. So we'll see if we can get them up. Well, it probably helps that it's a rainy day. But those might be the best 2 I've ever had come out. Now they are some of the smallest, as you can see. Okay, on to the next. Look how sandy that soil is, or clay-like. Yeah, that one seems pretty solid. I'm not touching that. Well, that was a workout. I had 8 in the truck and just got another 8. So 16. And we're gonna say that's good enough for today, because we still gotta plant them and I have other trees to plant as well. So they're all lined up here along the edges. So we're gonna pick them up and then we're just gonna go straight there now. I did forget, I wanted to get some compost. So we're going to grab a bucket, a mineral tub of compost here. Chicken guts, kitchen scraps, miscellaneous weeds or whatever around the farm. Really, I'm the only one that adds to it, but also carbon sources from raising chickens last year, their bedding, also their guts from processing them. So any sort of scraps of nitrogen and carbon. So it's more carbon heavy right now, but I like adding it as a layer when I plant these trees as just a rich source for the roots to tap into. And so that's what we're gonna do. Here's an example of nature always trying to heal itself. You can see that anywhere that there's dirt exposed, there's green coming up. So there's no crop in the ground right now. This is gonna go back to corn, but nature does not like exposed dirt. So it automatically goes into healing mode, and that's all that green in there between the crops or between the stalks that you can see. So as you can see up there, there are cattle in the pasture. So right now, this property that we're in the process of buying used to be part of pasture. And so obviously it was lived on at one point and everything, but it used to be connected to this pasture. So the well for the house and everything, that's where the cattle's water is up there. So basically they have access to the water. And then of course, the cowboy guys have access to coming in with their cattle, stock trailers and everything, and loading them up out of the corrals. So we're kind of sharing that. It's roughly about an acre and a half or so. So we're sharing that for now. But in the meantime, all of these trees have been planted and or transplanted. Transplanted if they're eastern red cedars, which is this line here. So all the way down to the far fence line with my custom mulch. We are working on a different solution for that. But then I've put out flags here. I stepped it off for the next, I don't know how many. We might knock it out today, we might not. And then here on this back line, I still have to mulch a good chunk of these, but these are my ponderosas, which go all the way down there. Oh, maybe that tree is still alive. This tree right here is really in the way. And even some of these branches are going to be in the way long term, but I'm thinking before we get these planted, these 2 rows right next to it, we need to take that tree out because it's just going to be in the way. Maybe not. Maybe it's worth keeping. We'll see. But right now I didn't plant very close to it because if we got to get in here to remove it, I don't want to be running over stuff I just did all of this work for. So that's that. But here's the property. So basically what I'm doing, the thought process is this is the north. So I'm building a windbreak to slow down that north wind. That's obviously the west. And so I can't do much in there because of the cattle. Technically I could. When we get to that point, I'll decide I could fence off the trees I'm planting so they don't mess with them, stomping on them, eating them, anything like that. But then otherwise, of course, this open area, I want to sprinkle in some of those bur oaks, some of those red oaks, some of those hackberries, and just see what we can make happen. So here we go. I didn't even do that on purpose. 16. Originally I wanted to only do 15 because I was just getting so tired. I was like, oh, I missed one. I'll just grab this one on the way back. 16, I had 16 flags out. Look at that. Let's get to work. Making progress. This will be number 5. And guess what? Found some hidden treasure. Don't you love when this is the treasure you find? Who knows how long that's been in there. Crazy. Crazy how deep it is. That either means that this used to be, what, nearly a foot deeper, or it's just worked its way, or I don't know. Guess I don't know what this used to be. I don't know if it was always like this or if there was something here. But it's also weird that it's running that way, because I don't know where and why there would have been fence here. Interesting. Okay, we have all 16 holes dug. Now time to put each and every tree in the hole and then go back and secure them down there. So I do have compost in each one as well. So I went ahead and did that since I was going up anyway. Well, there you have it. All 16 planted, and I bit off more than I can chew. I was going to plant some of these ponderosas in the back of the truck. Yeah, I'm exhausted. It's time to go check goats. And after all 16 of these, it's time to call it a day.